In the tiny little town of Forgotten Hollow resides gothic mansions and gloomy days. You've just moved into town and wandered into the town square, where you can't help but notice the statue of the town founder, Vladislaus Straud. You can't help but stare. Something about him feels eerie, yet proud. You turn around and walk back to your home. The sun seems to be setting faster than usual. You feel a sprinkle of danger in your gut, but you shrug it off. Now you're in your home, you're sitting on the couch, watching TV and eating a grilled cheese sandwich. The night feels like it could go on forever, but you're ready to go to bed. So you walk upstairs, get cozy, and doze off. There you are, sleeping soundly, when suddenly you're woken up by what can only be described as a night terror. You can't tell if you're awake or in a terrible dream. It's as if your mind isn't yours to control. You feel the touch of cold hands wrap around your neck. You feel your body being pulled forward, but can't do anything about it. Then, everything goes black. The next morning, you wake up. Your body is weak beyond comprehension. You feel as if you've been drained of all energy, but you're grateful that your terrible dream is over. You make your way to the bathroom to take a shower, but the doorbell rings, stopping you dead in your tracks. You hesitate for a moment, but head to the front door. You open the door and you're met with a pale, elderly-looking man. He looks familiar. Where have you seen him before? His presence isn't one you'd easily forget. The man looks at you and says, "Hi there. I just wanted to welcome you to the community and my, what a lovely neck you have there." And then it hits you. It was him. It was his cold hands around your neck. It was his face that remained blurry in your mind. And it was his teeth that left holes in your neck. You panic. You're too weak to run. He steps inside your house with a smile from ear to ear, displaying his sharp teeth. He starts to hiss. The more you look at him, the more you think of the statue in the town square. How could it be? How is this possible? And before you know it, the pale man looks at you and says, "It'll take a lot of garlic to keep me away from you next time. I'll be back the next time I crave a midnight snack." Hello everyone! Ooh, advert. Never! Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another episode of the Spilling Sins series. And happy Halloween! I thought I would do a little spoopy episode for you guys. I know it's been a while, it's long overdue, but I'm here now. It's one of my favorite days of the year. So today we're going to be going into the lore around Vladislaus Straud, who we in the Sims community affectionately call him Vladdy Daddy. So we're going to go into the lore behind our favorite vampire and his sleepy little town called Forgotten Hollow and his rumored enemies. Now, I'm just gonna warn you, my puppy likes to cry for no reason. So if you hear little bits of that, I'm sorry. My cat has a bell on and my children like to frustrate me. So if you hear any funny sounds, it's probably them. So Forgotten Hollow was introduced to us by the Sims 4 Vampires pack, and it's the tiniest world I think I've ever seen outside of the one that came with Realm of Magic. It's the hottie does for me, y'all. So Forgotten Hollow has 5 lots and they surround a central plaza where the statue of the founder, Vlad Straud, can be found. Its bio states, "The small town of Forgotten Hollow has remained virtually unchanged for the 4 generations it has existed. All of its original town founders disappeared shortly after the town was founded, all except for Vlad Straud. His great-grandson, Vlad Straud IV, still watches over the town to this day." Now, I don't normally do this, but I want to go through some of the houses and their names, because when I tell you, they're fucking funny. Okay, so we're gonna go through them because it gives all the vibes. It gives all the vibes. So let's begin. First we have, and I have to read my notes for this one because the words here are big. They are big words for Elmo, thanks. But it's called the Garlic Louter Place. Garlic Louter Garlic Louter. Oh, for fuck's sakes. It is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom residential lot. So this lot comes with the Vampire Nexus lot trait, and it has a description as follows. A dark void envelopes this lot in the upside down. Vampires are more likely to visit this area, meaning vampires will visit the lot more often, which I think is ironic because vampires are normally known to literally be repelled by garlic. So it's just funny to me, okay? Next we have Next we have the Widow Shield townhome. So this house is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, and this has the registered vampire lair lot trait. Sorry, the words are kind of big. I'm not gonna lie. I'm struggling a little bit with me. So what does that mean? Well, here's how it's described by the game. The lot registers as a vampire lair. The League will send various gifts from time to time, through the mail no less. Even the Immortals use public mail service. Only available on home residences. So Sims on this lot will get gifts through their mail by the League, whoever they are. I don't know who they are. Then we have the, oh God, these words. Fledermaus Bend, which is the only empty lot in the neighborhood. And Fledermaus is German for bat. I should probably Google the pronunciation, but honestly, even with Googling, I don't think I'm gonna get it right. So moving on to Vlad, aka Vladdy Daddy. It just makes me laugh because wow. Anyways, within this tiny town lives a man called Vlad Straud IV. He is known as the descendant of the founder of Vlad Straud I, and his bio reads, Count Vladislaus Straud IV is the latest descendant to occupy Straud Manor. His oddly similar looking line of ancestors have resided here since the founding of Forgotten Hollow. So everyday Sims just think strong genes run in the family, you know what I mean? And that the statue in the central plaza belongs to his great-grandfather. But little do they know that there is no great-grandfather, and that Vlad has been alive for 200 years. Damn, that sounds boring if you ask me. According to a painting that's found in Vlad's mansion, Vlad was the only survivor of a settling party of 25 Sims that disappeared. He was so deeply impacted by their disappearance that he founded the town Forgotten Hollow in their last known location, and he did so in their memory. So at first glance, Vlad appears to be an elder. I will be damned if an ad plays in my... You all get free advertising from me, okay? Some of us are not monetized. Any hood'll do. So, at first glance, Vlad appears to be an elder, but he's basically a young adult. We all know that vampires don't age once they return. So, he is a young adult. He's been staying in that stage, but he looks like an old-ass man. Really creepy looking old-ass man. And it's rumored that that's just attributed to how long he's been alive. Like, Mans just looks tired. Mans looks tired. His 25 friends just disappeared. And now he's like, ugh, I'm fucking exhausted. Anyways, Vlad has been around for centuries, okay? But he considers himself to be an elder. And I think that's why he looks like one, because he's been alive, okay? So Vlad resides in Straud Mansion. And when I say mansion, it's a fucking mansion, okay? It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom mansion. It has 4 floors. 4. Can you imagine me? And his house is surrounded by graves. So he has like a cemetery around his home. I love that for you, Vladdy. So Vlad lives in Straud Mansion, and the bio states, this mansion has been slowly built up over the town's history. Plenty of space and spare coffins. Vlad has the master vampire aspiration where he dreams of becoming a wise and powerful vampire. And to be honest, he's very close to it. I will not. He's a very skilled man, which makes sense because he's been alive. Okay, he has been alive. I digress. Besides wanting to become the ultimate daddy of vampires, I'm just kidding. He wants to be the ultimate vampire. But besides that, Vlad owns a company called Vladislaus Hardware, and they actually specialize in luxurious coffins. Fun fact, early in the video I know, but more fun facts will be at the end. So you need to watch this whole thing, otherwise you're just gonna miss it. I'm sorry. So Vlad has the loner, music lover, evil and quick learner traits, and he actually has level 10 in the organ. Before we move on, I need to explain some EA lore to you, because at this point it's fucking lore. It's been going on for too damn long. EA, okay, the developers couldn't be asked, okay, and I mean arsed, thanks, they couldn't be asked to make relationships match the descriptions and storylines that they wanted these Sims and neighborhoods to have. So because this is one of the earlier packs, these people, when you open up the game, they hardly know each other. That's if they even know each other. Sometimes they don't know each other. But then the law says they've got beef or their families are connected in some way, and it's really fucking annoying. So I'm gonna continue telling the story as if EA was not lazy when it came to the beginning Sims packs. Thanks for coming to my TikTok. Moving on to the Hell household. So Vlad isn't the only vampire around. So Vlad has been turning his fair share of Sims into vampires, and he turned a woman called Maribel Smith into a vampire. Legend has it that she was so proud of her perfectly straight teeth that when she grew fangs, she was so outraged that she literally just broke a mirror. Like she squared that motherfucker, okay? She punched that thing, broke it, and she took on the name Miss Hell. What a villain origin story. Anyways, so Miss Hell is a young adult, okay? And she is evil, she hates children, and she's a kleptomaniac, meaning she can't help but steal things. And those are my favorite type of Sims, I'm not gonna lie, because they be swiping things like at school, at work, child, they don't stop from stealing, and it's kind of funny. You get free stuff, if you ask me. But anyways, I digress. She has the dastardly trait from her aspiration, which is the public enemy aspiration, where she wants to make as many enemies as possible and become a famous criminal. When I tell you villain origin story, I mean it. Miss Hell lives with her two roommates, Cat Cave and Marcus Crow. Together they form the group, the Rebellious Vampires. Known as those who live a rebellious and dastardly lifestyle, they drink from Sims instead of plasma packs. So Cat Cave, whose name is a play on the phrase Bat Cave, she is a young adult. She is mean, evil, self-assured, and also has the dastardly trait because she also shares the public enemy aspiration with her group member, Miss Hell. Then there's Marcus Crow. Marcus Crow is also a young adult, but he is a goofball, materialistic, amuser, and cheerful. Marcus has the musical genius aspiration, and honestly, I think he's the glue holding this group together. I won't lie. Because wow, he is a breath of fresh air from what I can tell. So the rebellious group of vampires, they're not like in Forgotten Hollow. They don't reside in Forgotten Hollow, but you can download them in the gallery. So that's why you probably won't see them within. I don't know if they appear in game, but they're on the library, on the gallery. You can get them there. Outside of Vlad, the Vatore family also reside in Forgotten Hollow. Caleb and Lilith Vatore are siblings, and they are also vampires. They live in Wolfsbane Manor, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and their family bio goes as follows. The Vatore siblings moved into Forgotten Hollow a few years ago and are striving to make it their home. This can be quite challenging at times as they're not exactly on the best terms with Vlad Straud, but when asked, they only ever mention a difference in their culinary tastes. So, Caleb and Lilith are beefing with Vlad, okay? So, let's take a deeper look into Caleb and Lilith. Now, their last name is said to be a play on the Salvatore brothers of Vampire Diaries, so fun fact there. So we're gonna take a look onto Caleb Vatore first, and then we'll go into his sister Lilith. So Caleb Vatore was turned into a vampire by Miss Hell, and he is a young adult. He's unemployed. He has the foodie, ambitious, materialistic, and gregarious traits. Gregarious, child, the words are gigantic. He has the good vampire aspiration, which is where a sim wants to tame his or her thirst and remain as human as possible. Caleb is also a bisexual king, okay, period, because in the trailer for the Sims 4 vampires, he is seen flirting with 1 male sim and 2 female sims. So we love a bisexual king, period. Moving on to Lilith Vatore. So Lilith was turned into a vampire by Vlad, okay? And she is a young adult, she's unemployed, and she has the outgoing, creative, active, and domestic traits. And she has the vampire family aspiration, which I think is really cute, which just means she wants to have like a big, happy family of vampires. Kind of like the Cullens from Twilight. Wee. So now we have all this information and we're like, what must can happen? What must can happen? So let me lay it out for you, okay? I wrote a little story time. For you, how I understand it based on my research. Okay, so sit tight, grab a cup of, I don't know, whatever you like to drink, coffee, tea, hot chocolate, okay? Get something nice and let's cozy up, okay? Sit tight, mama's gonna read you a story. In the shadowed heart of Forgotten Hollow, where the sun's rays dared not linger, a timeless feud brewed between the enigmatic vampire Vlad and the newly turned siblings, Lilith and Caleb. The ancient town, cloaked in mystery and adorned with relics from a bygone era, had been Vlad's domain for centuries. He had, for generations, ruled with a sinister charm and an insatiable thirst for the blood of unsuspecting Sims. But as the decades rolled on, time's cruel hand began to reveal the cracks in Vlad's unchanging existence. Vlad had turned innocent Maribel Smith into a vampire. Ruining her perfectly straight teeth, she rebelled and took on the name Miss Hell. Sometime after, Miss Hell met and turned Caleb Vatore. Around the same time, Vlad had crossed paths with Caleb's sister, Lilith. Lilith and Caleb, turned into vampires against their will, had forged their own divergent paths in darkness. The siblings harbored deep disapproval of Vlad's malevolence and his cruelty, contrasting deeply with their own evolving views on immortality. Caleb, ever haunted by the guilt that washed over him each time he satiated his thirst, aspired to live as close to a human existence as his vampiric nature would allow. He detested the thought of preying on Sims, his heart weighed heavy with remorse. In a desperate bid to alter Vlad's wicked course, he had once dueled the ancient vampire at high noon, but the sun had ultimately favored the old master, leaving Caleb wounded and questioning his own strength. In stark contrast, Lilith embraced her newfound life, eagerly awaiting the day she could build her own vampire family. Though she preferred to abstain from directly feeding on Sims, her guilt was a mere whisper compared to her brother's anguished cry. She longed for the companionship of like-minded vampires, seeking to create a world far removed from Vlad's twisted kingdom. As the years unfolded, the tension in Forgotten Hollow deepened. The vampires' unspoken truce teetered on the brink of an impending showdown, as Vlad's sinister deeds continued to cast their long shadow. Lilith and Caleb, torn between the dark and light of their own existence, found themselves standing at a crossroads, ready to challenge the relentless night and carve a path of their own in the centuries to come. The fate of Forgotten Hollow hung in the balance, a haunting testament to the ever-evolving nature of immortality and the unyielding force of time. The end. At least until you get the pack and, play it out however you want, period. It's time for fun facts. Are you ready? I'm so excited. Miss Hell's smashed mirror can actually be found and purchased when you have the Werewolves pack, which I think is really fun. Vlad owns 100 gray coats. He likes them very much, and he thinks that they never go out in style. And that's really cute. I think that's really cute. He's an evil ass man, but like, come on. Some parts of him are kind of endearing, if you ask me. Vlad's statue in Forgotten Hollow can actually be destroyed by a spellcaster using the Inferniate Fire spell. And for your Sims to be spellcasters, you need to have the Realm of Magic pack, which is the one with the really small town. Do better. Yay, thanks. Okay, now for some real history. So the settling party of 25 Sims that disappeared. Vlad was a part of that group. So that part of the lore in the game might be a reference to the history of the Roanoke colony. So the Roanoke colony was established in 1585 on Roanoke Island, North Carolina, and this was on their quest to find permanent settlement in the New World. So the English were going to what is now the United States to, you know, settle. At some point, John White, he left to England to get more supplies, and when he came back, they were gone. There was no trace of them, and the only clues were the word Croton or crow that was carved into structures. Now, according to history.com, Croton was the name of an island that was south of Roanoke, right? And that was home to Native American tribes, or one of them at least. So that led to a theory. I'm not saying this is true, okay? But it's one of the theories that the colonists were either killed or abducted by Native Americans of that island. But there's another hypothesis that maybe they tried to sail back to England, right? But then they got lost at sea, and then they started beefing with the Spanish. You know, because at this time there was a war between England and Spain, if I understand that correctly. So that's a theory. Or maybe the Native Americans from the island of Croton, they met and they just became absorbed by their tribe. They joined their tribe. Any hoodle do. History lesson is over. Thanks. Back to the fun facts. So both Caleb and Lilith don't possess a dark form, and I think that's because they want to have somewhat normal-ish lives. They don't want to put on this evil president that Vlad is out here parading in. Did you know that Vlad fucking hisses at you in the streets? This man goes around the streets hissing. Okay, it's fucking bizarre, but anyways, I digress. The word Caleb is Hebrew. It's a Hebrew name meaning devotion to God, which I think is very fitting for his story. Bless his heart. And the name Lilith is Assyrian or Sumerian and refers to the storm goddess or the demon of the night in Jewish mythology. And her aspiration may be a reference to Lilith's title as Mother of the Demons, which I think is really fucking cool, if you ask me. Last but not least, Miss Hell, despite her being on the gallery uploaded by the Sims team, you can't re-upload her and you have to change her name because of word restrictions. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had a great Halloween weekend. I hope you have a great Halloween day, and I'll see you guys in my next episode of the Mims Legacy Challenge. And I'm gonna be making more Spilling Sims videos because I enjoy the research, I enjoy the filming, I enjoy everything. So expect more of those. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!